How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Data here, and welcome back to the Vancouver Canucks franchise mode here on NHL 24. Episode number 13, headed into year number 4 with the Canucks franchise, the 2026-27 regular season. Now, before we get started, just a huge thank you for the outpouring of love in the last episode. It was the first episode, the first upload actually, of 2024, and I mentioned that over the holiday season, I'd gotten engaged to my longtime girlfriend. Just tons of love and congratulations on YouTube, on Discord. I really felt it. I appreciate all the support that came my way. It was nice to be able to take a step away from the channel for about a week or so and enjoy time with her. And over that week, we created a video together that you may have seen on the channel that I put out this past weekend, a Wii Bowling Couples Challenge. You can check it out in the top right corner if you haven't seen it already. Just a little fun upload, no big perfect game challenge or anything, just a little video between the two of us, possibly the first of a series if you'd want to see more. So let me know what you think about that. But getting back to the episode, in the last one, in the 2026 draft and off-season, we made some moves, as in year number 3, we were coming off of a Stanley Cup Final exit. So in year number 4, we want to improve on that. In free agency, we went out and signed Anze Kopitar to a 1-year contract. Now, this season we have money, but next season, we'll have to extend Quinn Hughes and Filip Hronek, who are both on expiring contracts. Both are going to be needing big pay raises as well. Quinn Hughes coming off his first Norris Trophy victory this past season. So Anze Kopitar, we signed him, but instead of 2 years, $7 million, we gave him 1 year, $8.5 million, really overpaying him to come to Vancouver, a division rival from the Kings team that he was previously on. He was an 87 overall. He dropped to an 85 with top 9 potential, which is a bit concerning, but he should still simulate quite well. He's coming off of an 80-point season, over 1,500 games played with the LA Kings. Now he's coming to Vancouver for at least one season to try to get us over the hump. In the top 6, we also made another move for Tyler Bertuzzi, a familiar name, a familiar family name in Vancouver, as his uncle Todd Bertuzzi does in fact live in infamy. So as I mentioned last episode, Todd Bertuzzi may be irredeemable, but Tyler Bertuzzi will be trying to redeem his family name. He was on a losing Seattle team. I wouldn't say that it was a necessary move to bring in another middle 6-ish kind of guy, but Bronco had been mentioning it a lot in the comments. I think it really fit the storyline as well. So while it's not great to be paying Tyler Bertuzzi $6.49 million, which is more than we were paying Brock Besser, who we traded to get Tyler Bertuzzi, with a 3rd round pick, which we had gotten for a 4th round pick at the draft, but I digress. That's not ideal, but Tyler Bertuzzi should provide a bit of a boost for that middle 6, as Brock Besser, yes, scored 30 goals last season, but about the same amount of points, and he was a negative, 24? He had a terrible showing in the postseason as well. It was time to move on from him and bring in Tyler Bertuzzi to try and get it done here in the middle 6 or so for the Canucks. On the 3rd line, Aatu Räty has grown to an 85 overall. Fantastic news. Philippe Danault is down to an 82, but he can still play 3rd line center. And Jonathan Lekkerimäki, star of Team Sweden in this most recent 2024 World Junior Championship, Jonathan Lekkerimäki is a 78 overall, 22 years of age. So he really hasn't been growing, unfortunately, but in the AHL last season, he scored 72 points in 72 games, 36 goals. If there was ever a time to promote him, it's now. Even though his overall is lacking, hopefully 3rd line minutes plus 2nd unit power play will be able to give him a little bit of a boost. But Lekkerimäki being on that 3rd line does push down Vasily Podkolzin. Not ideal, as he's coming off of a career-high 33 points. We've been enjoying what he's been doing on that 3rd line. He had almost 13 minutes per night last season, so it's unfortunate that he'll be bumped down, but he is signed on for a couple more years after this one. He is in our long-term plans, while other guys, like let's say Kopitar, Danault, they're not. So it shouldn't be a big issue to get him back into the top 9 sometime even this season due to injuries most likely, but he'll start on the 4th line with 3rd unit penalty kill. Jared Anderson-Dolan getting the call-up as well. We signed him for AHL scoring last year, 69 points in 72 games. He gets the call to the 4th line center spot this season with the veteran, the star, the clutch master himself, Patrick Maroon, on that 4th line left wing spot. Down to a 77 overall, which is unfortunate with that AHL top 6 potential, but 18 points last season. In the playoffs, 3 goals, 5 points. He had 7 points the year prior. He's been all right. He's done well. Hopefully he can keep that up as a 77. On defense, Quinn Hughes and Tom Willinder, they're going to be on that top pair with the +5. I was thinking Hronek to go +2, but +5, +1 as opposed to +2 and 0 is favorable. Plus Willinder up to an 82 overall. Last year played big minutes as well in his sophomore season, 24-25 per night. So we will be relying on him once again. Hopefully he'll get some growth with Quinn Hughes. Hanifin and Hronek on the second unit with the +1, and Susi with Manson on the third with that +1 as well. Josh Manson, part of that Thatcher Demko deal with the Avalanche last season. 3 points +1 in 27 games, and the postseason, 4 goals, 7 points +5 in 19 games. So Josh Manson, he's back on the third pair. And one other change in free agency over the course of the offseason, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. We weren't looking to get a goaltender, but he was asking cheap, 1 year $800K. So we got him for 2 years, $1 million. We'll see if he can stick here in Vancouver as an 83 overall. We have DeSmith at an 81. We have Silovs as an 80 for third goalie as well. So I'm really hoping that this three-headed beast can be the solution here in Vancouver. Casey DeSmith, he's had crazy numbers this past season, 17, 12, and 2 with 2 shutouts at his age and overall, which is crazy. And Silovs last season, small sample size, but 8-3-1 with a 927 save percentage, 2.35 goals against. So we're going to see if those three can get it done. I was ready and content to roll with DeSmith and Silovs as the tandem, but UPL being available for such a cheap deal at his age is just too good of a deal to pass up on. So there's a quick recap on where we are as a franchise to begin year number 4. Liam Foudy as 13th forward, Jared McIsaac as 7th D. Down in the AHL, we have a few different things going. Trying to get growth, especially from Caden O'Brien, Callum Ritchie, and Luke Misa as the forwards. On defense, Brucevic getting some growth would be great, but I'm not sure how much he can get with his potential as well as he does. And goaltending, we have Bobby Stoll as 67, who's a former 4th-round pick with medium starter potential. So it's an exciting time here in Vancouver. In year number 1, 47 wins, losing round 1. Year number 2, 47 wins again, losing round number 3. Last season, year number 3, win only 41 games, but go to the Stanley Cup Final for the first time in 15 years. So now in year number 4, we're going to want to repeat that run, but it all starts with a strong regular season, and our strength, as always, must come from the assistant general managers. So turning to their comments now, not a ton to say after the offseason, as our lineup is pretty much set. It's more the experimentation in the preseason and stuff like that. But we'll start off with Gavin, who said, congrats on the engagement data and Happy New Year. Same to you, Gavin. Happy New Year. Much health and happiness to you and yours. I really like the Kopitar and Luukkonen bets. I have them both in my franchise, and they sim better than their overalls/salaries. Also, make sure you get Lekaramaki on power play 2. I'm excited to see what he can do in the NHL after watching the World Juniors this year. Great video data, and see you in the next one. Gavin, thank you very much. That is exactly what I did for Jonathan Lekaramaki. We have him on the third line there, playing with Dano and Ratu, which is a bit more of a defensive line, and he's the sniper there, but he does have 4-star shooting. So hopefully Dano, maybe he can find a little bit of his offense here and not only feed him the puck and allow him to be the finisher, then Lekaramaki can feed off of them as well and grow his 2.5-star defense. On the power play, unit number 1, I'll get to unit number 1 and why I have it like this in a moment, but for unit number 2, I have him as the finisher right here in the second unit with Reinhard, Bertuzzi, Ratu, and Hronek. Unfortunately, no chemistry. I would love to get some chemistry on the second unit, but it's just not really there. I could put Lekaramaki on the first unit where he would benefit from the chemistry, but he wouldn't be the finisher and he would have a reduced role. So that's the thing. Do you want him second unit finisher or first unit just playing at the point? So we can always experiment with that as we go, but he'll definitely get his chance on the power play, whether it be that first or second unit. Hopping over to Louis' comment now. Louis says, minor move I would propose is to trade Olivier Rodrigue, our AHL starter here, to a team without a third goalie in exchange for an AHL depth defenseman, since we don't have one, and then sign Oscar Janssen. Who knows, the AI will give him games in the SHL. So first and foremost, as you can see here, Olivier Rodrigue is our starter in the AHL, and Bobby Stoll's backing him up, 20 years old, medium starter, 67 overall, and third goalie right now is Ty Young, 22, 69 overall, low backup, not really counting on his growth, but we definitely want to have Bobby Stoll playing this season. Now, last episode, one of our greater steals in recent history in terms of just players with their overall out of the draft and not like a top 10 pick, Oscar Janssen, who was a second round pick, 63rd overall, 18 years of age, medium fringe starter, not super crazy, but 74 overall out of the draft as a second round selection, a starting goalie it seems like in the SHL, or at least splitting the net, 35 games, 17 wins, 6 shutouts, crazy numbers for 18 years of of age, Louis is suggesting bring him over to the AHL. Now, I don't see anything inherently wrong with doing so. I know there's the element of realism that an 18-year-old wouldn't be there, especially one who's playing overseas and, like, you know, seemingly doing very well, and you want him to continue developing. But at the same time, another concern that I have is, in theory, you want to put out the highest overall goalie that you can for your AHL squad so that they have the greatest chance for overall success and growth and all of that, especially when we have younger players who we want to see developing on the team. So I wouldn't mind putting Janssen there. It wouldn't use a year of his ELC or anything. It wouldn't be a big deal. But I think I'd prefer to just keep Rodrigue for right now, higher overall, let Janssen stay in the SHL as he seems to be getting lots of starts, and then reevaluate it when he's 19 years old and we have, you know, Rodrigue is going to be expiring. We'll see how Stoll's been growing, stuff like that. I just, you know, I don't think we're really in a rush, but I wouldn't say there's anything wrong if we did want to do so. If it turns out that Janssen isn't getting enough starts, if we see that by the halfway point or something, we can always think about signing him and bringing him over to North America. And now, of course, there's no better way to end off a comment section than going over to see Cheating Heel. Cheating Heel left another tremendous one saying, great to see you back. Let me start by congratulating you on your engagement. Thank you very kindly, Cheating Heel. As for the offseason, once again, you've knocked it out of the park. Hopefully this team can pull their weight during the season, and we only need to make some minor tweaks to the deadline to go all the way. Some thoughts on extensions potentially to DeSmith. We'll wait on him as he'll likely regress a little bit. Defense thoughts, that's exactly what I did. Willander back at the top pair. Yes, thank you very much. And for the goalies, we might as well start UPL and see if he can produce the same kind of numbers that DeSmith and Silovs gave us last year. And we can always do a type of rotation system so that every 10 games or so, we're seeing 5 to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, 3 to Silovs, and maybe 2 to DeSmith, so that we can see who's doing what, and we can keep up that rotation for as long as their numbers are similar. If one of them is way ahead of the others, we can change how we do those splits. But now at 35 years old, we probably need to rest DeSmith a bit more than the other two unless they're both terrible. Something else we can also explore if we ever need to balance the offense would be to have duos. We love that first line, it's top heavy and everything, but if we need to try and spread things out, we can try to just keep a couple players together and then change that third player. So Kuzmenko can be a duo with Pettersson, Miller can be a duo with Kopitar, and then you rotate that third being Reinhardt, Bertuzzi, Ratu. They can all get turns playing with the Stars. So we'll see what happens with our even strength lines. As far as power play goes, I'd overload power play 1 with Hughes, Kopitar, Pettersson, Miller, and Kuzmenko. Then power play 2 would be Hronik and Willander on the blue line, with Ratu playing with Bertuzzi and Lekaramaki. I'm okay with Dano not getting power play time. Yep, absolutely. Penalty kill, those are some suggestions that I took as well, and that's what I did on the units. I'll show you them in a moment. There's something in the air in Vancouver. Can you feel it? This is our time. Let's get it done. Go Nucks. Thank you for all that Cheating Heel. So some suggestions on the special teams that I went ahead and took. The first unit power play, I'm not usually a fan of putting one of the bigger players on the defense. I usually reserve this spot for a guy who I want to be giving ice time to, or someone like this would be like Ratu or maybe like Karamaki type of thing, and then Miller would go on the second unit. But we're going to overload the first unit, get that +5, put all the stars out in full force. Then on the second unit, Cheating Heel's suggestion did not have Reinhardt in the mix, so I definitely want to get him in there. He still had, a big drop off of 56 points, but in the postseason, 18 and 19. Let's see if he can continue where he left off, at least to start things out. So unfortunately, I think that means no Willander on this second power play unit. I really want to get Willander there as well, but he is getting first pair time with Quinn Hughes, so it should balance out. Again, we always take things as they come, and we'll make changes as we go, but I think we'll start off like that. Penalty kill, we get a +4 on unit number 1, a +2 on unit number 2, and a +3 on unit number 3, with them looking like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, not much else to do there. We have our lineup at least to start off, but we have many different contingencies in place, which I think is exactly what we want to have. So I'm going to advance a day, send out all the scouting reports, and then we'll get to the preseason. All right, simulating towards the first game of the preseason now. Jaden Schwartz with bottom 6 potential. No thank you, LA. Evgeny Dadonov with bottom 6 potential. No thank you. At least these are fair-ish deals, essentially asking for a third-round pick for some depth forwards. So what we're going to do now is essentially sim the preseason without really making any changes to the forwards or the defense. I'll just be rotating the goalies through these 7 games. I'm thinking 3 for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, then 2 for DeSmith, 2 for Silovs, but I don't think we'll make any other changes to anything else, like at all. So all I'll do is sim to the end of the preseason, and I'll show you the results once we get through all 7 games. Wow, okay, so here at the end of the preseason, we go 7-0. I can't remember the last time we went 7-0 in the preseason. Our goaltending was incredible. Let's start checking things out. Elias Pettersson, 10 points through 7 games. Kopitar and Hronek, both point per game. Kuzmenko, Miller, and Hughes all with 6. 4 goals, 5 points from Tyler Bertuzzi, very good. Reinhardt, 5. Willander, 4 assists. Lekaramaki, 3 assists, okay. You know what? He had 1 assist through 6 games. I swapped Ratu and Bertuzzi in the middle 6, then he gets 2 assists in game 7 there, so interesting. Jared Anderson-Dolan, JAD with 2 points. Ratu, though, just 1 goal and a -1 in 7 games. Dano, 1 assist. Come on. Maroon, Susi, put Coles in, Manson, nothing. Goaltending, now check this out. We were undefeated with the goaltenders, of course. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, 3 wins, 938 save percentage, and 1.66 goals against. DeSmith, 2 games, 2 wins, 964 save percentage, and 1 goal against. And Silovs, 2 games, 2 wins, 920 save percentage, 1.92 goals against average. So ridiculous. Doesn't help us at all with our decision-making process, but it does kind of solidify our plan of every 10 games. We'll give kind of 5 to UPL, then the other 5 split 3 and 2 or so between Silovs and Casey DeSmith. So, that being said, let's sim to the beginning of the regular season now. We're facing the Seattle Kraken, who went 5-1 in the preseason. We'll face them for the season opener here at home at Rogers Arena in Vancouver. Who's going to get the start? And by the way, Seattle losing their first game there. They're 0-1 to start the season. Do we start with a lineup like this? I suppose let's do it since Bertuzzi seemed to help out Lekaramaki. Unless it was, were those power play points? I didn't even check that out. Look at the preseason, only 1 power play point. Okay, you know what? Let's try it. Bertuzzi with Deno and Lekaramaki. We seem to do well in that 7th game. Defense is good to go. Goaltending, we're going to go UPL between the pipes with Casey DeSmith backing him up and Silovs in the press box for tonight. All right, UPL getting his first start as a Vancouver Canuck. Kopitar, Bertuzzi, their first games as Vancouver Canucks at Rogers Arena, facing the Seattle Kraken, kicking off year number 4. Here we go. First period, first shot goes in, but we take the lead, thankfully. Eli Tolvanen scores on the power play, the first shot against Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. But then Ratu, who scored 1 goal all preseason. Reinhardt and Tyler Bertuzzi, look at that. That swap in the middle 6 seemed to do something. From down 1-0 to up 3-1 after 20. Second period, now 4-2 goal apiece. Kuzmenko made it 4-1, but then Tolvanen's second goal of this game cuts our lead to 2. Data 782 Hall of Famer Eli Tolvanen. Reinhardt gets his second and restores our 3-goal lead. Power play a few minutes here into the third period here, and there's Lekaramacki's first NHL goal in his first NHL game. Then Patrick Maroon makes it 7-2 soon after. Lekaramacki on the power play, first game, first goal. Welcome to the show, kid. 8-2 Elias Pettersson, now Grubauer in nets as Knight was pulled after 7. And we kick off the season with a fantastic 8-2 victory. What a tremendous effort. 42-27, the shots in our favor through the 60 minutes of regulation. 2 goals and an assist for Sam Reinhart, giving him first star honors after a great postseason. Elias Pettersson, a goal and 2 assists. And Ratu, after 1 point in 7 preseason games, 2 points to open up the regular season. You love to see it. And not to mention Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen with the great start as well. So we're going to give UPL the first 4 games of the year, let's say, and then we'll swap it up for Game 5 in Chicago. Another home game there against the Jets, 3-1 win. On the road in Arizona, 3-2 shootout win, and then a 2-1 loss, unfortunate, in St. Louis, but only by a very small margin, not a big issue. UPL with a 938 save percentage so far, looking good. CDS King Casey, let's see what he can do in his first game. Let's go on the road here against the Blackhawks at United Center. Ooh, yikes. 5-1 loss. Let's give Silovs a start now, as that will allow Casey DeSmith to get a little bit of rest here in his older age, I suppose. Apologies to anyone who's 35 or older listening. Now, after losing 5-1, we face the Blackhawks again, and it's a 2-1 overtime loss this time. Unfortunate. But let's try and give Silovs some starts, as we had said previously. Actually, we'll go see this game, the 5-1-0 Colorado Avalanche. We'll go see them. We actually acquired Josh Manson, of course, from them in last season's trade with giving them Thatcher Demko. I'm not sure if he stuck around. He went to free agency. I don't know if they re-signed him. We got to see where Thatcher Demko ended up. But regardless, they're a good team. Let's see how they do. And no, it's Annunen in nets tonight. So Landeskog opens it up. Then Kopitar ties it right back. Second period, 3-1 Canucks. Bertuzzi on the power play. And Ratu extending our lead to 2 against a very good Avalanche squad. After we started strong, but then a couple of wonky games. Not wonky, but just, not as optimal outings. Up by 2 halfway through the third period. No scoring through the first 15 minutes. Shots are tied, but Nathan MacKinnon makes it a 1-goal game as we're both in the mid-30s for the shots. Final minute, and we'll hang on tight, thankfully. Shots end 36-34, and we'll take the 3-2 victory with Ratu getting the game winner. Silovs makes 32 saves. King Arthur and Bertuzzi a goal and an assist, plus Ratu third star with a goal. Let's keep on moving now. We'll sim through the game against the Leafs. Another tough matchup for Silovs. A good year for rookies. Thank you, Amateur Scout. Another tough matchup here for King Arthur. A big 6-2 victory. Let's go. And now we'll get UPL back in. So we'll do the next 4 starts for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, hosting the Canadiens, 6-2 win, hosting the Blackhawks who beat us twice, 5-1 win, 4-3 win against the Flyers, and a 3-2 win against the Red Wings. Fantastic. Now 9-2-1 facing the 9-3-1 Leafs. Silovs is in. Bertuzzi facing his old team in Toronto. No thank you, Philadelphia. And we'll come away with a 6-4 victory. Let's go. Huge win there. King Arthur will keep him in for a couple more starts at least. The Bruins were 7-3-2 at TD Garden. 6-5 shootout loss. We'll give him one more against the 10-2-1 Avalanche. Wow, on the road. That's a 3-2 overtime win. So our next game will be up against the 4-8-2 New Jersey Devils. Maybe the record will change by the time we get there. Now 6-8-2. Already coming off of a couple of back-to-back wins there. Let's get the Smith back in here. We don't want his confidence totally crushed. And Kopitar's down to an 84 overall. Crazy. And Ante Kopitar has 16 points in 15 games. Incredible. And he drops an overall, but that's okay. Silovs is looking very good. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen looking amazing. But we'll give a start here at Casey DeSmith. Just want to see how he does, but then Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, he's been showing himself to be the starter, so we don't want to keep him out for too long. Here against the Devils, who are 6-8-2. Casey DeSmith, 3-2 loss. We'll give him one more against the Islanders, then UPL will be back in, starting for the Stars game. Islanders 7-6-2, 4-3 loss. Come on now, Casey. We love you, man. We love you, but we need to get some wins here if we're going to really have a convincing regular season. Casey DeSmith, 857. Yeah, we'll have him sit again for a little bit. We still love him. We still know that he can turn it on in the postseason. But for right now, we're going to roll UPL and Silovs. This time giving UPL the next 6 starts, let's say, and then we'll make a decision for the game against the Oilers. Hosting the Stars, 4-1 win. There you go. Hanifin, sprained ankle. Thankfully not for long. That was our first injury of the season. I'm surprised it took this long, honestly. So he will come out. Susi will move up to play with Hronik. That's great. And then 7th D, Jared McIsaac, will come in to play with Josh Manson. -1, but not for long. 3-2 overtime loss against the Red Wings. Now December 1st. There you go. 4-3 shootout loss against the Bruins. Hanifin is back. I know we haven't stopped to look at the stats, but we've been rolling. Things are going well, so I don't want to jinx anything and stop it now. Jared McIsaac only played 1 game. He was a +1. Thank you for your service. Back to the press box. Hot dogs are on me. Hanifin back to Hronik. Very nice. And then we'll see Vegas 6-4 loss, the biggest loss for UPL this year. Bounce back 5-1 win and a 4-1 win. 14-5-4 is our record through 23 games. Let's play 2 more before we take a pause at the 25-game mark. Silovs in for this one against the Oilers at Rogers Place. We have a history with the Oilers, that's for sure. 5-2 win, very nice. And we'll give King Arthur one more start here against the Blues at home before we take a pause. And there is a 4-3 victory. So we are 16-5-4 through 25 games. Fantastic record to have us atop the Pacific Division, looking very nice. In the entire NHL, we sit number 2 behind the Maple Leafs. Only 3 points behind with 3 games in hand. So are we the best team in the league? Perhaps. So far so good. We're scoring a lot, 3.68. We're allowing very little at 2.56. Power play at 17.8%. Could be better, I'll give it that. That first-second unit split may not be helping us as much as we were hoping it would. And the penalty kill is at, 77.9. 3rd worst in the NHL. Small sample, well, small. 25 games is enough, actually. So let's take a moment to look through the points, but after that, regardless of what we see, we definitely have to make changes to the special teams. I'm surprised we've been doing this well with with such a lack of success in that regard. Reinhardt, Hughes, and Kopitar are in a 3-way tie for leading the team in points with 26 through 25. The first line, not up there, but still having good seasons. JT with 21. Kuzmenko, only 5 goals and 19 points, though. And Elias Pettersson slowing down, only 18 points and 2 on the power play. Yeah, we need the power play to start clicking. Aatu Ratu, second in team goals with 12 goals and 16 points in 25 games. Okay, I see you. I see you. And Danault's feeding off that. 16 points from him. Bertuzzi, 8 goals, 14 points. I don't mind that. Lekaramaki, 13 points. Nice. Hronik, 12. Manson, 9. What? 5 goals and 9 points from him, but Colson at 9, Maroon 8, 7 goals from Pat Maroon. Hanifin, Susi, Willander, only 2 points from Willander. That's surprising. Okay. And goaltending, they've been good. 10, 2, and 3 is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, 932 save percentage and 2.15 goals against. Silov, 6, 0, and 1 with solid numbers as well. But Casey DeSmith, 0, and 3. 0-3 through 3 appearances, 857 save percentage, 4.83 goals against. So no need to force it. UPL and Silovs will be the tandem moving forward until we need to see more from DeSmith maybe. But for right now, we're content with those 2 being in there. So I'm going to make some special teams changes and then we'll get back to it. All right, so for the penalty kill units, I played around a little bit between the 3, as you can see here, just basically a couple defensemen, a couple centermen swapping around. Before we make anything too drastic, we'll see if those changes are enough to see improvement. For the power play, I decided to essentially just swap Reinhardt and Miller. This is what I was thinking originally. We tried the overload method, didn't quite work, so Reinhardt will come first unit on the left side as the right-handed shot. On the second unit, JT Miller with the center eligibility will be center. And you know what? Ratu's been doing very well here with the 93 and 92 slap and wrist shot power respectively. That's why I put him at the point. He has scored 3 power play goals, 4 game winners out of 12 goals as well. So he's been thriving there. So there's a little swap on the power play, and there's some changes to the penalty kill. We'll see if they really do anything. I also put UPL back in, so let's simulate the next 4 games and see how he does as starter. Hosting the Winnipeg Jets, 4-3 loss in overtime, 2-1 loss on the road against the Sabres. A little injury down in the AHL here. All right, back to it. Exit the calendar, swap out, AHL, NHL, AHL, NHL. There you go. 5-3 win against the Lightning, then a 4-3 shootout loss against the Islanders. Now in New Jersey, 17-6-6, facing a sub-500 Devils squad. Let's get Silovs back in there, giving him a start here against the Devils. Let's see here, going for a win on the road at Prudential Center. 3-2 shootout loss, so back-to-back shootout losses. Let's give Silovs another start here against the Sharks. Then we'll go back to UPL against the Kraken. Here on Christmas Day at Rogers Arena, let's get it. And injury down in the AHL again, great. And 4-3 loss, unfortunate on Christmas Day. Crazy that our record is 17-7-7. We have not had really any luck beyond regulation. So let's try and get back on the horse here after going 1-2-3 in our last 6 games. The Kraken and the Stars going to UPL here. First in Seattle, 3-2 win. Then in Dallas, 4-1 loss. And now's the time I'm going to say, let's give Casey DeSmith another start here as we're getting closer to the halfway point and taking a pause and trying to make decisions next episode. Let's get Casey DeSmith in here for this game against the Kraken on New Year's Eve. Let's go in and see it. Why not? Maybe he's better in the slow sim. Let's give him a game here against the Kraken. I think it's already like the 4th time we see each other this season. First period, 0-0. Second period, 4-0 Canucks. My goodness. Lekaramaki scores twice. Power play, then even strength. Elias Pettersson scoring in between and Willander afterwards. Wow, 4-0 after 40. And in the end, 4-1 win. So 35 saves on 36 shots for Casey DeSmith. He loves the slow sim. 2 goals from Lekaramaki. 3 assists from JT Miller. Love to see it. Casey DeSmith loves that slow sim. All right, we'll take it. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen back in now. Let's give him the next 3 starts, let's say, and we'll go from there. Murkowski a 4th and a 5th for Philip Danault. Keep that in mind. Interesting. Big 7-3 win hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. That's our highest amount of goals in a game so far this season. Always great to see that. Anton Olsen on waivers. Actually, we need a depth defenseman for the AHL, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and claim. Actually, he's also young, 23. Former 3rd-round pick. Yeah, great. Thank you, Nashville. No problem. Essentially, Danault for a 4th. Why would I do this, Edmonton? No. 7-2 win, so back-to-back 7-goal games right there. Lovely. May as well do at least one more for UPL. I've been liking what I'm seeing here. 8-3 win. Wow. So we never scored more than 6 all season. We scored 7, 7, and 8 the last 3 games. I don't want to mess with a good thing right now. facing the Capitals, injury in the AHL. Come on, give me 8 goals again. What do we got tonight? 5-3 loss, unfortunate. All right, so that was game number 39. We got 2 more to go. So I think we've seen a lot from UPL. We've been very pleased with him. So let's split these last 2 starts between Silovs and DeSmith. So DeSmith's going to get this one, and Silovs will get the next one at the official halfway point. So game number 40 here against the Blue Jackets at home will go to DeSmith. It is a 6-2 win. Love to see it. And now the official halfway point will come after this game against the Calgary Flames in Calgary. King Arthur coming in for this one at the Saddle Dome. We'll go into Slow Sim, the official final game of the episode at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome. Let's sim it. Here on the road, Quinn Hughes leading the team in points right now. Not point per game, though, but leading the way. First period, 2-0 Canucks as we get Pettersson and Reinhardt on Wolf. Second period, 4-1. Kadri makes it a 1-goal game. Then Pettersson and Ratu make it a 4-1 scoreline. Up by 3, make it up by 4 as Kopitar gets 1 more. Ruzicka cuts it back to 3. We're up 5-2, 5 minutes into the third period. Power play Flames killed off. And we will hold on power play once again for Calgary in front of the home fans. They can't capitalize. Third power play opportunity, and they still can't get anything past the King. King Arthur will take the victory. Can he go out with just a 2-goal against outing? Yes, he can, making 25 saves on 27 shots. We win this one 5-2 the final. Pettersson 2 goals, Ratu a goal and 2 assists, and Kopitar a goal and an assist to officially bring us to the halfway point with a record of 24, 10, and 7, on pace to go 48, 20, and 14. So if we could turn some of those overtime and shootout losses into wins and keep the regulation losses at the pace that we're on now, it would be an incredible season here for the Canucks. Absolutely. So I like where we are at the halfway point, on pace for 48 wins, maybe even for 50 if we were to take some of those overtime and shootout losses. We are sitting third in the NHL, but we have 2 games in hand on second and 4 games in hand on first. So at the halfway point, looking very good, scoring 3.8 goals per game, leading the NHL in that regard. 2.68 goals against per game. So we're the best offensive and best defensive team in the league when it comes to goals for and goals against. So really happy to see that. Power play, 15.4. Wow. Unheard of numbers in our franchise mode series, honestly. I know it's not like absolute bottom. It's in, closer to the bottom than the top, but still 15.4 unacceptable. We'll have to mix things up for next episode. One of the main priorities. And the penalty kill, which was at 77.1, now up to 80.6. Still, we want to see it higher, but better than bottom 3, bottom 5. Still amongst the bottom of the league, but it is improving. Do we want to change more? I guess that'll be something we have to consider. Now we'll check out the points through 41 games. Anze Kopitar and Quinn Hughes are tied for the team lead. That's crazy. Kopitar, 39 years old, 39 points in 41 games, on pace for 78 points, has an 84 overall, ridiculous. Same for Quinn Hughes, 39 points. Sam Reinhart, 20 goals and 38 points, on pace for 40 goals. Wow, 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 wow. JT Miller, 37, Pettersson, 36, Ratu, though, on pace for 66 points. He slowed down his goal-scoring pace, but very happy to see him still on the same even-strength pace. Kuzmenko, 31, on pace for only a 62-point season after he scored 86, 88, 82. That's very odd from him. Hronik, 27. Bertuzzi, 26, on pace for 52 points, which is what he did last season, kinda. I'd want to see a bit more from Tyler Bertuzzi, I have to say. And I think the lack of success on the power play as a team is hurting him there. Dano on pace for 50 points, which would be a big improvement on last season when he scored, 36 there and 41 the year prior. So, all right, Philippe, continue comme ça. Lekaramaki on pace for a 26-goal, 48-point rookie season. Very nice to see from him. Same thing, though. I think he'd be better on a team with a good power play. Hannafin, 13, Podkolzin, 12, Willander, 11, Maroon, 8 goals, 10 points, Manson, 9, Anderson Dolan, 8, Susie, 7, and then McIsaac in his 1 game. Now, goaltending, we've had a 3-man split here, 27 games for UPL, 15, 6, and 5 is his record with a 921 save percentage and 2.57 goals against. It goes in order, makes sense. Silov's 11 games played, 7, 1, and 2, 916 save percentage and 2.64 goals against. And then DeSmith, he was 0-3, now he's 2-3-0. His numbers have gotten a lot better. 905 save percentage, 3.19 goals against average, but much better in those last 2 starts. Looking around the entire NHL, if you're curious, 61 points from Chandler Stevenson. Wow. Leading the NHL in points. Can't wait to see what happens there if he ends up leading the league in the end. We see Michkov, we see Danil Yurov. Interesting. A few names that are starting to get higher in the overall now. Miroshnichenko, 45 points. Interesting. That's really cool to see. And goaltenders around the league, always curious. Sorokin, Hart. Where is... there's Ananen, but where is Thatcher Demko? I forgot to check where he went in the end. Oh, there he is. I had passed him. He's in LA. Wow. We have a crazy storyline with the Kings. We got Kopitar, Dano, Roy. They had Connor Garland. Now they have Thatcher Demko. He's 16, 16, and 4 with 3 shutouts. We have no shutouts this season. And his numbers are so-so. So, all right, Thatcher, always interesting. Let me know if you want us to check in on any other of our old friends, but definitely got to check out the 2 big offseason moves being Brock Besser and David Perron. So first we'll look at Perron over with the Bruins. They were a buyer team. Has he been delivering? Yeah, 28 points in 43 games. That made total sense for them to pick him up. 80 overall now, depth forward, AHL top 6 potential, but he is still putting up the points, so good for him. Where's he even playing in their lineup? Playing on their 3rd line. David, ben, félicitations, mon ami. And then, of course, the Seattle Kraken. Let's see how Brock Besser's doing on his new team and the 65-goal pace that he is on there. Wow, 35 points from Besser. On pace for close to 70 points this season after he scores 56 with us, 52 the year before. Postseason of 7 points, -5. And then, of course, he's still -6, though, in Seattle, but I'm sure he's playing top minutes. Yeah, he's playing the first line. So it makes sense he'll be on a much higher pace when he's playing first line as opposed to, like, middle 6 with us. And I didn't even mention that when we went in to see the Kraken games previously. Of course, it was a big matchup of Besser versus Bertuzzi. So much going on in this episode, my goodness. So, ladies and gentlemen, to wrap it up, we'll want to look at potential trades around the league. Anything we might want to bolster our team with. Are we considering any types of moves? Do we need some help on the power play, the penalty kill, the depth perhaps? The first line hasn't been incredible. Do we want to mix things up line-wise? Draft picks, remember, we have our first, our second, 2/3, a fourth, a fifth, 2/6, and a 7th. So we could play around with those if we want to make some potential moves. Looking at blocks around the NHL, sorting by overall. Let me know if anyone piques your fancy. I can do some more research on them as we just go through them rather quickly. Of course, giving preference to the expiring deals. We see Strome, Killorn, even Coleman here in Anaheim. Coyotes have Tierney and Nosen. The Bruins, some younger pieces. Buffalo, younger pieces again, some with decent potential. Calgary Flames, younger pieces once more. Hurricanes, couple of depth defensemen. Blackhawks, younger pieces, yeah. The Avalanche, no one super interesting there. Blue Jackets, Zach Werenski, 2 years left on his deal, is an 87 overall. And some other guys here. OEL, shout out to him. Dallas, we see more depth-ish types of pieces there. Jamie Benn, 2 years left on his deal. No one with a few younger-ish guys. Detroit, yeah, they're always looking to move everybody. They're still they're buyers. At 19, 22, and 3, they are buyers. So do we want to give them someone to push them over the edge? I don't know if we have anyone to give, but I'd love to pick up Axel Sandin, Palika, or one of these other prospects out here. Edmonton Oilers, Zach Hyman on the block, 2 years left at 5.5. What's he up to here? Yeah, he always seems to produce. He's got it. 34 points this year. 77 last year. Okay. Florida, nobody. LA Kings, Doughty, Schwartz, Klingberg, Borgen, and Martinez. The Wild, a lot of young pieces for the Wild here as well. Hemming would be interesting to get. We have him in our San Francisco Starfleet franchise mode, which is back to being live on a weekly basis starting this week, starting back after the holidays. The Canadians have, Machar, Danielson, young pieces here for the Canadians as well. Le Canadien, all right, all right. Larson and Henrique for the Predators. Devils, younger guys there. Islanders, younger pieces once again. Rangers, same thing. A lot of those teams with the same type of mid-70, early 20s guys out there. Nick Paul for the Senators. Flyers, a lot of big names here. Couturier, Mikheyev, Ferraro, Mahura, Ristolainen. Some expired. These are actually some names that pique my interest a lot. Jason Dickinson, former Canuck as well. On pace for over 20 goals. Look at him. Ristolainen and Mahura, as I said, other expiring deals. So keep those in mind. Pittsburgh Penguins, no one super interesting there. Sharks, Couture, and Ruta. Kraken, Burakovsky, and Fitzgerald. Blues, Saad, Giroux, Shen, and Perunovic. Claude Giroux, currently, yeah, he's doing very well, though, despite the overall in age. 39 points in 40 games. Very nice. Tampa Bay Lightning, Gauthier, and other young pieces. Maple Leafs, Cowan, and other young pieces. Vegas, Stone, Carlson, Marchessault, and Butcher. Wow. Mark Stone, very good numbers from him. 52 points in 45 games. Very injury prone. Last year, 59 points in 57 games, but 52 and 45 right now. And William Karlsson, only 23 points in 45 games. Vegas, but they're a good team, but conservative sellers, but 26, 16, and 3. Plus division rival, I don't know. Washington, Backstrom, Dadonov, and Mackey. Expiring deal for Nicholas Backstrom. 14 points in 39 games. A little redemption story for a guy whose career may be over in the real world. And Winnipeg, we see JVR, James Van Riemsdyk. So there are the trade blocks around the NHL, ladies and gentlemen. If anyone interests you, let me know your thoughts. It doesn't have to be a trade right now. It could be a trade closer to the deadline if we seem to be needing some sort of boost. But there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The first half of year number 4 in the books. On pace for 48 wins, possibly a bit more if we get some better luck beyond regulation. The first line with a +5 has been concerning, I do have to admit. The middle 6 has been good. The defense has been solid enough. The special teams, you have to find a way to get them going. Let me know any and all of your suggestions, most especially for the lineup, down here on YouTube or over in the Discord server. Link, as always, is in the description. Leave a like if you enjoyed this first half and if you're hopeful for the second half. Leave any predictions you might have for player scoring or our team record. Always fun to look back on those. And the very last thing to consider may be if there's any change to the contract extensions here, as Hughes and Hronek are wanting crazy money. Quinn Hughes would currently want, yeah, that's much more reasonable. Still a lot, but we could look at extending Quinn Hughes right now at 7 or 8 years. Philip Hronek, yeah, that's still going to be tough. Those are tough numbers. We have $30.8 million to play with. If we want to extend Kopitar, he'd be wanting, really reasonable numbers. If he even stays next year, he could retire. Plus, I don't know, maybe he becomes our new third-line center. Dano moves out. We get a new second-line center. A few things to consider there. Josh Manson would want way too much, unfortunately. Tom Willander would want a lot, but we have him as an RFA. And for goaltending, Justice Smith, who would be looking at minimum. So, okay, just a few things to keep in mind. Oh, and as I said, we'll take a look at Oscar Janssen. Is he getting enough games so far? Yeah, 20 games played in the SHL, very good. 13 wins, 4 shutouts, 915 save percentage, very good. So I think we probably keep him in the SHL. He is just feasting over there. Great to see. What's Rainer Muller up to? Very good numbers in the DEL. Wow, okay, 20 starts already, 11 wins, 3 shutouts, 921 save percentage. So I'm very excited to have these two goaltenders make the jump over to North America someday soon. I'm very glad to have them in our pipeline. So ladies and gentlemen, all of those thoughts down here on YouTube or over on the Discord server. One of our channel goals this year is to grow the Discord server, so we'd love to have you join in there. We're talking sports, we're talking your franchise mode series. It's a great community and we'll be that much stronger with you as a part of it. So of course, also consider subscribing if you haven't already. Our goal for 2024 is to achieve 9,000 subscribers, so I can promise a subscription equals you receiving over 150 uploads this year between our videos and our live streams. That is a guarantee. So subscribing would make you aware of all of those uploads. I'll end it there. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for all the kind wishes. All the very best to you and yours to start 2024, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing you once again in the next one as we continue the second half of our 4th season here in Vancouver, where we may just be on pace to win our most games yet with the franchise so far.